Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you I told you I would show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to show you the bad and the ugly today. Mistakes that I've made in my garden. One is when you go on vacation, don't assume it's going to rain. Even though it's been raining every single day before you left, don't assume that's going to rain one day when you're gone. And that's what I did. I went away for about 6 days. I put my most precious plants on the side of the house, and so it'd be in the shade. It wouldn't be tortured by the sun. And I hoped that if it rained, it would still get water. But lo and behold, not one drop of rain. The rain followed me to my vacation instead. So when I got back, I took a look around and I was a little bit disheartened, a little bit frustrated, very frustrated. So let me show you. My one plant, my sun patience, which looked like this before, all beautiful and orange and like full of strong stems. When I came back, they were stuck to the pot. They were so dead. So frustration number one. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this plant. I just hack it up, and when I have time to bring over the garbage can, I'll just dump it all in there. So I was starting to take off some limbs, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna leave 2 or 3 of them on here just to see what happens when I water it. And lo and behold, when you water things, they're much more resilient than you give it credit for. Now they look like this. They've come back quite good, and I'm pretty pleased about it. Will I keep it? I am not sure. But for now, it's not so bad. It was a good little experiment. 2, my powder puff tree, which I loved. It was already having lots of blooms, lots of beautiful pink puffs of greatness. And it had a ton of blooms just coming down the stems. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm gonna miss all of these blooms. I get back and every leaf on that tree was crunchy, like cereal crunchy, like crunchy. So, disappointment. I thought it was a goner. I took off all the leaves, and the one thing I did do was I gave it the Are You Alive test, which basically you scratch the bark of the tree, and if it's green underneath, it's still alive. And if it's brown, it's dead. At least that limb is. So I ended up cutting 2 limbs off, even though they were still green underneath, because I'm thinking I'll get something else for this pot. It's never gonna come back. And lo and behold, watered every day. And 2 or 3 days later, I start seeing little nodes. The little nodes had little green stems coming out from it. And I got really excited. And now it looks like this. Fantastic. And so that's number 2. Number 3 was my lantana. My lantana that I absolutely loved. But you know what? It was kind of stringy. It was like no leaves in the center, but all the sides were full of color and full of blooms. And I'm like, okay, I could deal with that. It's not so bad. I came back and that was all shriveled. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a really good haircut. Cut it back, trimmed it back hard. And lo and behold, I watered every day and it started budding from places that hadn't budded before. So now it looks like this. Nice and full, blooming, and I am really excited about that too. So those were the 3 main plants that I basically demolished. Okay, so what life lessons can you learn from plants? And to me, it was really obvious as I was taking care of these plants. One was be patient with yourself. Give yourself time to heal. You're much more resilient than what you give yourself credit for. And when it comes to nourishing plants and giving it water and, helping it through the stages of recovery, that would translate to being kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up about stuff. It's gonna be okay. You'll get through it. Just time and patience and kindness is really life lessons that plants taught that were pretty obvious to me this past week. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Don't throw away your plants. Give them some love, attention, time, be patient, and they may come back. So good luck. I'll see you on the next one.